Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Step Forte back in the studio with my good friend Gary. Today we are going to talk a little bit about, it's not you again, it's the machine. We're going to talk about LinkedIn. We're going to talk about how to use your LinkedIn profile to find jobs and why LinkedIn is really important to you as a job seeker, a career changer, a student looking for an internship. And so we're going to go over all these screens. And again, if you like what you see, tune in at www.jobs@nojame.com or stepforte.com. The addresses are below. And before we get going, my good friend Gary, who's a wise man, he said, Dave, you're probably going to make all of the recruiters and HR people out there in the world mad at you because you're giving away the secrets. But I said to Gary, Gary, that's our purpose in life, is to give away the secrets. Because if we're on this planet and we're not making it better, then what the heck are we doing? So today I'm going to give you the mojo. I'm going to give it away. You're going to see what a recruiter sees on the back end of the screen. You're going to see how to make your profile work so you get that career that you've always wanted. So let's do it. So before we get going, I wanted to just tell you why. I mean, he said, why are you giving it away? And this is kind of why I'm giving it away. Just after our first 2 episodes, it says, here's a comment that came in. It says, all thanks to you, Dave, ready to give up. I was even somewhat skeptical about your simple advice, blah, blah, blah. Prior to speaking with you, over 100 resumes and applications sent out. I got only 3 callbacks, 1 stage 2 interview, and no job offer. Since I implemented everything you told me, 20 resumes sent out, 10 calls back, now on stage 2 of 5 out of those 2 offers in the bank that I'm asking to hold out for another week. You just can't argue with those numbers. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing, so that I can help more people on a larger geographical scale. This guy is from a different state. We're here in Buffalo, New York. This person was in Florida. And via the internet, the magic of YouTube, we're able to help people all over the country and all over the world. So let's roll up our sleeves and get to it. One last little piece of advice that my lovely daughter gave me was, Dad, you're way too serious when you're doing your videos. You need to lighten up. I'm not going to follow a guy who's as intense as you. So thanks to my daughter, we're going to have some fun here. All right, this is a screen that we're looking at. This is what people on the back end of LinkedIn, people that pay for licenses, see when they're running a job search or when they're looking for, for candidates. These are people filters, and actually this is a filter on the not paid for version, the not really expensive version. I have 2 versions, my premium and my really expensive back end where I search. Okay, so LinkedIn, this was a search I actually ran because I'm looking for a field technician in the IT field. You could see how I have a geographic location that I must fill in. Be sure that you have on your profile or profiles your geographical location, and make sure that you have certain specific skill sets like computer hardware, A+, network plus, computer repair, laptop, desktop. These are all words that are searchable. And also, if you have some well-known companies, we could search those too. You'll see a very larger screen in the next couple of slides. So let's see what we've got here. All right. I'm a recruiter. I get hundreds of resumes every week. I get a good candidate. They come in. What's the first thing I do? I look at them. I classify them with a color or a grade. The next thing I do is I Google your name. So I'm Googling myself, and I'm going to use the Bing. Having a close family member that works for the Bing, I want to be sure that we give a little shout out to the Bing, not just the Google. But here's what I did. I Googled my name, and you could see that the first 3 things that came up, LinkedIn, my website, and Facebook. So let's try it on Google. the same thing on the Google. What comes up? Consultant, my LinkedIn profile, my LinkedIn profiles, I should say, and my website. So if you don't think that recruiters and HR people are not getting resumes, scoring them, and then Googling your name to see a little bit about you, well, then you're misinformed, because I do that with almost any person before I actually pick up the phone. That is, of course, unless I'm in a super big hurry because I have a customer who needs a rush job. But let's just take a look. So here we go. I'm a recruiter. You sent me a resume. I liked your resume. The next thing I did is Google your name, and I shoot out to your LinkedIn. I click on your LinkedIn profile. Here's what I'm seeing. This candidate, who I can't put their face on, this candidate here, he has a nice picture of himself, professional looking, with computers in the background. But look at what his profile is. This tells me amateur, not used. It's the blue stars. What I would like to see my candidates do out there is this: do a free JPEGs on Bing about blinking servers. So I work in the IT world and I'm recruiting, and when I see a candidate that has something like this on their landing page, which we call LinkedIn, I see something like this right away sends me some kind of subconscious signal that this person is an IT person. Here's an example of what you would find if you linked in with me, if you saw what I had. And why this is important is because people want to A, see you can represent their company, B, they would like to see what you represent. What I represent is finding people jobs, and my company is Jobs at NoJame, and more recently Step Forte. And look at this. This identifies what it is you are looking for on your landing page. I'm a consultant. I'm a coach. I connect the dots. I'm a connector of people and their talents. Look at what else I have here. Contact information. You would see all my contact information would pop up. Also, I just made it easy for people. I put my email right there so that people can contact me directly. If you're a little bit leery about that, you might put Dave NoJame Jobs at Gmail or Dave NoJame Jobs at Yahoo, something like that that's connected to your real email address that you check every once in a while. All right, so as we go down and we kind of scroll down on this, we see a couple of things. We see, first of all, that you put naming rights in there: consultant, coach, connector of the dots, and underneath you'd say what that's all about. So if you're an IT person, you may put in there IT integrator, you may put in there network engineer, you may put in there systems admin, systems engineer, IT professional, so that people know what it is you're looking for and in your next job search. So again, here's the one I copied. This is just recently, and why this about wasn't really working for that person. It says, system administrator with 2 decades of experience primarily in the DoD space. I happen to have worked for DoD. I know what that means, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know what DoD space is. We do know what desktop and server technologies do. And then here's another word, like measure to secure assets per STIGs. All right, so per STIGs, if you are military, and God bless the military, I got a lot of family members, I work for DoD, one of the things I'd like for you to realize is that you have to translate certain things into regular English for people so that they know exactly what you're talking about. In this specific example, it would have been better for this person to talk about their specific experience, like racking servers, Linux clustering, Microsoft Exchange in the back end, instead of using words that maybe are only understood by a segment of the population. They would have also used specific technologies that would have identified them to recruiters, and more importantly than the recruiters is the artificial intelligence, the search engines, the Boolean logic search tools, which we'll look at in a second. Here's the next part. This is your profile and about. This person listed what they did, but they didn't list any keywords that would allow me as a recruiter to find them. Couple of good points. Capitalizing, being consistent with your naming rights. So a systems engineer, a systems administrator, and a systems analyst could be about a million different things for different companies. So being able to identify through your skill sets underneath here what it is you actually did would be helpful to people who are actually trying to figure out what you actually did and find you a job. Because right now in Buffalo, New York, there's a lot of IT jobs out there. I want to find you an IT job, but you got to let me know what it is you're doing. So this is what will help me to understand what it is that you're doing, and that is called industry knowledge. If you look at specific things like virtualization, cloud computing, infrastructure, those are things that are searchable word items. Those are what we call lexicon for identifying searchable items. Here's some good stuff right here. This person put in a lot of good things. I highlighted them because they showed up in my search, like Windows, A+, computer hardware, technical support. Something to notice here with education and dates. If you're worried that you're going to be identified by your age, just give yourself the degree. Don't give yourself the date. So a lot of people, this will be a different episode. A lot of people say, I'm not getting a job because I'm 50 or I'm 60. I'm going to show you how to fix that. But one of the things that you can do right now is maybe get rid of your dates. Okay? But otherwise, this is a good example of using words for a recruiter to search or for the search engines to find you. Here's another good example, and this is a view from my recruiting tools on the other side of LinkedIn Recruiter. And you can see that this person has in their skills and expertise section all of these great words that helps me to score them and find them easily. Specific software, Altiris, specific words like ESXi, ESX, VMware. Those are all words that I'm looking for in a candidate. And you should have those regardless of whether you're doing IT, accounting, law, whatever it is. Get those specific words and expertises, plural, in your resume and in your LinkedIn profile. Here's a view, again, of what a recruiter sees. Just as a reminder, specific technologies, HP, Lexmark, those kinds of words will help you to get found. Here is what a recruiter sees on the back end. If you take a look at this screenshot, you will see all of the things from job titles to specific skills to what school you went to a very, very, very important one, your postal zip code. You can have more than one profile. Those are important. Okay? So make sure that you get these filled out completely on your profile. Again, going back to what's important on your LinkedIn, your Monster, your Indeed profiles, and you can have more than one profile because these search engines cost companies thousands of dollars, and a lot of companies only subscribe to one, two, or one or the other. So make sure you spread your time out by being on different websites. And here, look over here. This says resumes updated within 1 month. Make sure you update all your profiles regularly because as a recruiter, I see that on the back end. Okay, here's a search for Monster. I just ran it. It was for who's new in my world on this zip code of Buffalo, New York in the last 1 week within a 30-mile radius. Remember, we're going to have another lesson here, I guess, if you will, another episode on how to build a resume. But your resume should be inserted as a JPEG. If you want to take out your personal information, but your skill sets and stuff could be inserted as a JPEG on your LinkedIn profile. It's just a free way of advertising. Remember, your LinkedIn is a landing pad. It's sort of like your homepage, if you will, your profile online, and people will look at that. Here's a good one in terms of wordplay because it's got so many different specific words. Cisco AnyConnect, iOS, Android, Linux, Manager, SCCM. These are all words that are searchable. In our next episode, when we come back, we'll be talking about LinkedIn as advanced. So this is just the basic LinkedIn stuff. And remember, when you're doing your profile, it's like going to a gym. You're going to put in 10, 20 minutes a day. If you put in hours and hours, you're going to burn out. It's like trying to run 10 miles. If you're out of shape, it's going to hurt. So just do a little bit at a time. My good friend Gary, the wise man, he's telling me I better hurry up here because we're trying to keep these things short. In our next episodes, though, I want you to maybe take a look at other things like building your reference center. This one is a good one for me. If you read my references, you'll see that if you don't believe what I'm saying now, just check out what people have written about me on LinkedIn. We're going to work on that with you in the future. Another thing is try to get people to endorse you. So, if 99, more than 100 people are endorsing me for recruiting, or 71 people are endorsing me for running a company, or 65 people are endorsing me for training out there, you're going to think, well, maybe the guy's not lying. The same holds true for you on your advanced LinkedIn things. The other things we'll talk about is building your network and how to use a reverse search to find who is the senior talent acquisition at a company with an M in Buffalo, New York, or an HR business partner at a company with an M. Those are the people you want to talk to after you get your resumes in. I'm going to show you how to use LinkedIn as a tool to get in touch with those people. So instead of being one of 200 candidates, you're the one of 200 candidates that found the HR director and reached out to them and said, hey, I applied to your job. Why don't you look at me on LinkedIn? Okay, the next episodes coming up too will be developing how to develop your resume so it doesn't look like this one, which isn't a good one, which we'll make into a good one in a little bit. I'll have templates out there for you so that you can download templates in order to build a good searchable resume. Here's a good one because it's got all this stuff. It's divided. We'll talk about that in a different episode. And for all my immigrant friends out there, I try to help them, my grandparents, immigrants and stuff. And I want you to know that another episode coming up will be specifically working with people that are new to this country and legally authorized to work. So stay tuned for that. And again, as a recap, remember, it's not you, it's the machine. The goal of this video is to get you to be able to score high, 6.7, good score on Monster, and get found. Remember, we always appreciate your feedback and your comments. And I'm going to try to keep this light. Remember that life is what you got. So keep a smile, make it happy. Sometimes a door closes so another one can open. Remember, it's not you, it's the machine. Be strong. Be brave. Take that first step. Log in with us at Jobs at No James, Step Forte, and you too. You be you and decide your future. Hit us up on LinkedIn and subscribe on YouTube, Step Forte on YouTube. Thanks very much. Have a nice night. Adios.